everybody, it's Erin Reed, and today we have another challenge. We got a whole bunch of items generously donated from a bunch of companies. So I went to Creativation 2019, and our challenge was to create something using 5 of those items from those companies. So I've pulled out some of those items, and I'm not the only one. There is a bunch of us that are doing this particular challenge from our designer section swag bag, and the links for all those other designers are going to be down below. I am going to be creating, and Graphic 45 was one of our generous donators, and we were given 3 tags. I'm going to be creating a mixed media tag with this. So just kind of having some fun and playing. Some of the other companies were Liquid Sculpey, so I'm actually going to be creating with this new bakeable medium. This is a Liquid Sculpey, and we got this really cool mandala set. So I'm going to pop this open. Now the instructions are in here about what I need to do, but basically I'm using this bakeable medium and always use an oven with thermometer, blah, blah, blah. So I actually have to go turn my oven on here shortly. But first, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I think I'm going to create basically this whole thing. And it says to pour this in here. So just fill it up, and I probably have way too much, so I think I'm going to stop at that. And it says to squeegee to get it in there. So I'm just going to kind of squeegee to fill it all in, and to get into all the little nooks and crannies. I really want to make sure I get every little single nook and cranny filled with this bakeable, I don't know, what is this called? Bakeable medium. I think it's kind of cool. So basically when it's all said and done, I will have a whole bunch, and I just totally rested that on there. I will have a whole bunch of little designs that I can then use and place on my tag. I didn't add any kind of coloring to this or anything like that, but I can always come back and paint it later is my thought. So it's almost like a bakeable clay. I don't know. It's going to be different. It's very cool. So I really want to make sure I don't have any extra, because I think it's going to damage the look of what I want when it's done. I have a feeling these are going to be super lightweight and just really cool. Really get all of that extra material. Make sure I have no bubbles. I see one little tiny bubble right in there. I think I can hijack some of this right here. And just really making sure that everything is nice and filled in. All right, so I think I've got all my little holes filled. I kind of went over it, kept pushing it and stuff. I'm going to go bake this now at the settings that it says, and we'll see what it looks like when it's done. So while my thing is baking, it's in the oven right now, I'm going to go ahead and start preparing my tag. So I've got a couple of different deco art paints. This one is teal mint and brilliant purple, and then I also have a white. Just kind of in the mood for these colors. So I'm going to go on, and I am just going to shake my paint first, add some color to this. I do have my mat down below to make sure that I don't mess it all up. I'm kind of doing a couple of different things. I'm just taking a paper towel basically and just kind of smearing the color in. I didn't really get a very good job of applying the color on that. It's just kind of coming in, kind of applying the color. I am now going to take one of my Crafters Workshop stencils, and I'm going to take another piece of my paper towel. You could use baby wipes for this. I just don't have any, and I'm going to get it wet, really saturate it, and kind of remove the color. So just come in and remove some of that color to reveal a little bit of stenciling happening in the background. And we're going to do a few layers like this. So here, just adding some stencil, just some light texture. I'm going to come in with my purple now, which I've never used. Look at that, brand new. For this one, actually, I've got a brush here, and I'm going to brush it in, get some cool texture happening. There's going to be lots of layers of paints here. Kind of brush it in a little bit. I really don't have much of an agenda for this yet. I'm just kind of playing around. I'm going to add my stencil again. Let's get my finger pull off of that. Add my stencil in again, and again, remove some of that color here. So you really just kind of see that hint of that texture in the background. If you have baby wipes, that would definitely work a heck of a lot better for this, but I don't have that. So now you get some blending happening. So I'm just grabbing a container with my whites, shaking my paint really good, adding some white to the bottom. I'm going to stick with the same stencil. You could totally change your stencil out, but I'm not kind of in the mood with that. I'm going to be adding a lot of different things to this, so I think just because there's already a lot of colors, just tapping some of my paint off my brush. I'm going to come in and add my stencil. I think I'm going to go, no, I'm going to go a little bit angled the other way, and then just adding in some white. So we've done like a removal of the paint to reveal, and now I'm doing like a direct stencil with this. So look at that, very, very cool. I love those effects, they're so fun. And then for grins and giggles, just because that seems really harsh, taking another paper towel and then just coming in, removing some of that color again. And the paper towel also gives it some texture, which I think is really cool. So I feel like we need to add a little bit more. So this is where you can kind of come in and you can add some layers. I feel like we need to add, I know what, I think we need to add a little bit more purple, and I still have some purple on here. So it's just a kind of a hint of some purple, kind of in that corner. Kind of brush it in, give it some texture. It's kind of filling in those gaps. Look, it's kind of going into where the white, it's almost painting over the white. I have not done super, super thick amounts of paint on here, so it's definitely adding the ability for it to kind of white it out, or to blend without messing up the design of the stencil back there. And I think that looks pretty cool. That's just using 3 colors of paint and 1 stencil and a couple of different brushes. And these are the Dynasty stencil brushes. Very, very fun stuff to work with. And just some paper towels and water. Can't get easier. One thing you need to make sure that you do is go and dry or clean out your stencil as soon as you've used them, because otherwise they're going to get kind of mucky and it's going to have all that paint on there. So I think one last thing I'm going to do is I still have some paint on the other side of my stencil. I'm going to place it down and then just kind of rub, just transfer a little bit more of that paint on there to give it that really kind of cool texture. So now you've got some alternate colors happening here. Let's see if I can add a little bit more. So it's just adding some more kind of layers, depths of color to that. I don't think I can get any more of that purpley on there, but it's just adding some more, and it just adds to the fun. So now you've got kind of the reverse, so that you have the positive and then the negative of the stencil, which is really cool. So this needs to sit off to the side to dry. Got to go clean my stencil, not forgetting that. But now I also have these really cool pieces. These are these 3D foam snowflakes, and they're not snowflakes, but they're just still kind of that cool shape that kind of matches with the mandala that we've created. And there's some dots in there too. So it says you can add glitter and other flocking. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to add some fun colors. I'm going to pull out some of the glitters I have that go with this. All right, so I just have a couple of different colors of glitters. And what I'm going to do is I'm definitely going to do some of these circles. I think those are going to be really cool. So I'm going to add the circles. And I think wherever I pull it off of here is what is going to be seen. So basically it's creating a sticker, but they're in fun shapes. So I'm not going to do every single one of these on here. I'm just going to kind of pick and choose which ones I want to do. I have a sheet of paper, and the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to do this paradise. This is just from Recollections. A tiny bit of glitter just to get them sticky. And then I can shake this off. And then when I'm ready to use them, I just kind of pop them out, and then the other side will be sticky and I can place them down. I'm just getting them prepped for right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull off a couple more of these and do some in the purple and then also the teal. All right, so I'm just going to kind of set this off to the side. I don't know exactly how many I want to do, but I got to start on it. I did one of each color and I did a few circles, and I'm not going to get rid of this glitter yet, because if you saw what I was doing, and I'll do one more, is I pulled off the sticker to one of the dots, and it does not take a whole lot. I just kind of put my finger in and then rubbed it on there, and this one's going to be kind of cool. It's going to be a mottled effect, and that was plenty to make that sticky, which I think is very cool. And then you just kind of wipe it. I could take a dry brush, but I'm just using my hand right now. It's going to kind of get a little bit glittery, but it will stick, and look at the coverage on that. It's so cool. I love that effect. So just setting this off to the side. Hopefully I don't spread my glitter all over the place. And I'm about to go grab my baked item because I think it's done now. So this popped out of the oven. It only took a few seconds to actually cool, and now I'm going to pop these little guys out. So it's really quite simple. I already started kind of working on this one. Just using my little tweezers here to kind of grab it. And, oh, that just fell right out. And I have no idea how firm. I mean, they're pretty lightweight and it's pretty firm. So that's pretty awesome. And look at the detail on that. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the rest of these out. All right, so now I basically have to clean this with a little bit of extra material. that is on kind of the edges of all this. So it says soap and water to clean this. It's just a silicone mat. But these things are so cool. I mean, they're flexible, but they're actually really, really sturdy. They're so fun. All right, so I want to add a little bit of some other color, but I love the look of the white on here. I just think they look really, really cool. We got this pen, and this pen is called Gold Nugget. It's from Spectrum Noir. It's got 2 tips, and I'm just going to play around on here for a second so you guys can see the different colors. So here we have the 2 tips. It's just a very metallic. I love the colors. One's a bigger brush tip than the other. I'm not going to do any kinds of fancy writing or anything. Actually, I do have an idea. I'm going to come in and just kind of outline, add just, you know, a little couple of squiggles. I'm not trying to do anything super specific here. So one of the other things I'm doing is I'm coming in and I have all these words. This is another stencil from Crafters Workshop. I've added my kind of coloration, added a 3rd color, and then I'm just going to be adding the white. But I want to add some words on here. And so I love this word believe. So I'm just going to kind of come in a few of these with the pen. So this time I'm going to come in with the smaller side and stencil in the words with the pen and just add some words on here. Just using the stencil, kind of like an old-fashioned pen with stencil. Instead of getting in another paste or a medium. My handwriting sucks, but these pens are fantastic, so use it to my benefit. And I already have this word ready to go. So there we go. Believe. Very cool, right? So I'm going to come in. I think I'm actually going to cut this guy in half. I don't know exactly where I'm going to be putting all my words yet. I'm going to cut this one in half. And I may not even use all of my mandalas here. Place that there. I like that. So now I got to get some glue to stick everything down. Some of the other companies that gave us some glue was Beacon. So here I have a fabric tack. It's basically a multi-purpose glue. They have a wide variety of different glues. And as always, links for the supplies are going to all be down below so you guys can see where those all are at. So I'm just going to place a couple of these pieces. I like the larger ones if they're not fully intact. I think it just looks too rounded. The smaller ones I think will be absolutely fine being fuller. This one I'm not going to cut completely in half. I'm going to cut kind of catty corner and then add it down. I'm going to do it down here. So I'm going to add, I think I'm going to add a series of words up there. So I've got believe. I'm going to do kind of a cascading set of words. There we go. Just, you know, it's little something, so it doesn't have to be anything. And I'm not going to forget about my little glittery pieces. So I'm going to add some of those in here. Pop them out, and I probably have way more than I need. So I've got all my layers on there. I'm really loving it, but I don't think my words are popping as much. So I'm going to come in and just kind of outline my words in black, just taking a very standard black pen and just doing a little bit of an outline. So there it is, my fun mixed media tag. I'm going to add some pictures at the end where you can see it a little more closely. I don't think the camera is doing it quite justice, but you can really see the words a lot better now. There you go, you can see a little bit better on that. And then just all the fun different textures that are on this tag. Thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to check out all the other people that are part of this fun challenge. Links are also there for all the supplies I have used. And thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button for further notifications. And I'll see you guys again later. Bye-bye, everybody.